let's have a chat about institutional racism and sexism. Both are forms of discrimination. Now, I was talking to my best friend DJ last night on Xbox Live, and he was telling me about a story about at his church youth group. There are these individuals who are of Filipino background, and they only converse with other Filipinos. And this new person that came into their social circle only wants to talk with DJ's friends who are the Filipinos, but doesn't want to talk to DJ. So DJ was telling me that, you know, last Sunday he was adding his thoughts to the conversation that was unfolding, and the group, even his friends that were in the group, turned around and looked at him like, "What? You're here? Who's that?" That is institutional racism. You're not going out there saying black people are bad, they should all be slaves in chains, whipped, beaten, hung, lynched. Not saying that, but you're excluding them from the group. That is a form of discrimination. It's the same thing with men and women in their groups. You have a group of guys that are just bullshitting, just completely shitting themselves with their banter. And you have a woman who then adds in her thought because she knows what they're talking about, and the guys turn and go, "Huh? Who are you? Who invited you to this conversation?" Same thing with women. All you gotta do is switch the roles of the genders. You have the same damn thing. So why is institutional racism / sexism so big in our society? And why is it still a problem? Well, one, it's built into the system. It's a social structure. We have laws and we have policies that govern this behavior. For example, the anti-miscegenation laws, which were used to make sure that there could be no mixing of the races, especially during marriage. White people cannot marry non-white people, and non-white people, you know, can't try to marry a white person. I know that's a bit of a double speak, but that specific law prohibited interracial marriages. That's a form of institutional racism, because as you know, we kind of got rid of the whole idea of slavery after the South lost the war in the American Civil War during 1865. But these anti-miscegenation laws lasted until the 70s in some states. The 70s. And you go down to the Deep South right now, and you have a couple that's black and white. It doesn't matter if it's a black dude or a black guy. A black dude or a black girl with a white guy or a white girl. Doesn't matter. They'll still look at you like, "What are you doing? You're married to somebody of color? Or you're married to a white guy or white girl or whatever?" That's weird. Because in the Deep South, it was embedded into the society that you cannot marry a person of color. That you must marry a person who is white, who is of the pure blood. Another part is institutional racism / sexism is built into the norms of the culture. It's what you do. That's going back to my previous example of DJ's kind of sad predicament, where his friends kind of singled him out because he was not part of the same ethnic group. Now, it doesn't have to do anything that, you know, he's half black, half white. It doesn't have anything to do with that. It's because we've learned through centuries that that we all have our little groups, our little cliques. And anyone who's not part of that group is looked at to an outsider. Is looked at as someone that doesn't deserve to speak, who doesn't deserve to share their opinions, whose thoughts are just baseless, doesn't mean anything. That is institutional racism. And we have all sorts of shit that's going on in our society. But this right here needs to stop. I mean, it's bad enough it's built into our freaking culture. It's bad enough America was brought up on this idea that the white man should rule over anyone who's not white. That's what they preached in the beginning, and that's what's still being taught to kids. Even if they're not literally saying, hey Tommy, don't go say hi to that black man over there because he's a nigger. There's people who actually still use the N-word. Not nigga, but they say nigger. They say it. There's even black people that say nigger to other black people. I've heard it. It sounds weird coming from another black person, but again, that's a form of institutional racism. You think black people don't say nigger, they say nigga as a slang term. Oh no. There's a lot of black people that say nigger. And there's some white people that say nigga. It's culture. So, I want to hear your thoughts of institutional racism or sexism. Both are interchangeable because they both deal with discrimination. I want to hear your story. You just type it all out in the comment section below. And I promise you, nobody's going to give you shit. If somebody gives you shit, I'll take care of it. Because we need to discuss this. This is more important than what Kim Kardashian's wearing. This is more important than the latest gossip in entertainment. This is more important than, you know, the whole vaping culture. Way more important than that. That's secondary. That's a secondary commodity that we need to look at. Is it a problem? Yes. But is it something that can easily go away? Yeah. You just ignore it. You don't pay attention to it. Aha, let's see. It's also institutional. Because you're doing it unconsciously. You just do it. It's natural. It's natural for a white man to say, ha, look at that black guy. He can sure play basketball. Or, hey, ha, look at that white guy. I bet he sure is smart and gets good grades in school. Or, look at that Asian. So good at math. Look at that Mexican. I bet he could jump over the damn border. All examples of institutional. It's in the system. It is systematic. That's where sociologists and psychologists get the term systematic. So, why do you think we still have this system? Do you think it was brought over by another society? Or do you think it's just human nature to discriminate against people? Do you think it's just the way humans are, that we should put down people that are inferior, that are weak, that are different than us? Do you think that's right? Do you think you should not get a chance to succeed because you are not white? Or do you think you should not get scholarships because you're white? I'm asking you. Does that make sense? Is that justified? Leave your thoughts below, because I'd love to hear them.